Hello, and welcome to another installment of the Big Business Minute. I'm Ivy League legacy of Billionaires for Bush. Billionaires, the 20th century was a dark time for the wealthiest among us. Progressive ideals triumphed more often than not, and monstrosities like workers' rights, environmental safeguards, and social security all cut back on our profits and our power. Yes, only a few generations ago, our government stood powerless against the interests and actions of the biggest corporations. George Bush and the Republican majority have been working hard to bring us back to the good old boy days of 1888. And thanks to snaky strategists like Karl Rove, we've been confident that once again, big money, united, could never be defeated. But have we been too confident? For more, we turn to Monet Oliver DePlace, who is standing by in Karl Rove's Strategery Room. Monet.
Ivy, hello.
Where are you, Monet?
This is it, the undisclosed location. That's Jimmy Hoffa hanging there behind me. This is quite an honor to be here, but before I break out the 1895 Rothschild, I have to report some disturbing trends, setbacks.
Monet, we've put trillions into our messaging matrix and media consolidation, convincing the American people to vote against their interests. How can there be setbacks?
Well, perhaps we've been too confident. Revelations this week of the identity of Nixon disloyalist Deep Throat called to mind some of the terrible errors past once all-powerful administrations have made. We cannot get too comfortable.
I'd like to personally admonish Mr. Felt. G. Gordon Liddy was right yesterday when he said the FBI's former second-in-command violated law enforcement ethics by leaking Nixon's crimes.
Exactly, Ivy. You and Liddy hit it right on the head. Felt swore to keep this country's secrets. And federal crimes, if I'm not mistaken, are secrets, are they not? But there are more serious problems, Ivy. Last week, 7 Senate Republicans broke ranks to reach a compromise on the filibuster rule, crushing an easy route to control of the judiciary by radical right-wing extremists.
Oh, Monet, that's terrible. Those radical right-wing judges are the ones who always rule in favor of the corporations. What about my creative accounting? What about my union busting and the environmental disasters my risky drilling and manufacturing cause? Is my golden parachute safe? Am I going to jail?
Now, Ivy, calm down. This is just a setback, not the end of the world. The compromise was a win-win for us, really, because the Senate confirmed Judge Priscilla Owens to the Federal Appeals Court. A former Big Business Minute pick of the week, she's ruled in favor of corporations over victims in every single case to come before her. And that includes Enron, saving Kenny Boy over $200,000 at the expense of, about 27,000 school children in Texas. Every penny counts, you know.
Well, that makes me feel a little better. Bought and paid for is the way I like my judges. But is there more bad news?
Unfortunately, yes. Our campaign to privatize Social Security has stalled, and the president's approval rating is way down. But you know, Ivy, I'm a champagne flute is half full kind of guy. I hold great hope in the fact that most Americans seem to forget the system was created because the stock market tanked.
What are we doing about these other recent setbacks?
Well, to make it easier for our politicians and lobbyists, Billionaires for Bush introduces our Policy Advisory Alert System. After the great success the Homeland Security Department had with their terror alert system, confusing Americans long enough to manipulate policy against their interests, we simply inverted it, as you can see, and devised an easy-to-read, color-coded chart that rates our current progress back to the golden age of the late 19th century. The language may seem a little harsher than our messaging gurus would like, but this is not designed for public consumption. We've cut out the spin so our boys in Washington will know exactly where we stand. The worst case scenario is the color red, or progressive red. This threat level carries severe risk of anti-robber baron forces like a living wage, stronger Social Security, and healthy environmental safeguards. We are currently in Policy Alert Orwellian blue, where everything the administration presents to the American people actually means the exact opposite. It's a very comforting place to be, but we must remain vigilant, for at any moment, policies or T-bills forbid, 90 centrists win the next election and our agenda is set back another decade.
Certainly, Monet. But if it is not for public consumption, how will our politicians know when their policies move it up or down?
Simple, Ivy. Karl Rove is requiring all Republicans to install this alert system on their BlackBerries. Controlled directly from Rove's desk, it beeps accordingly to various aspects of policies and riders as they move through committee. Your bills allow higher mercury emissions to be pumped into the air? Good. It plays a pleasant chime. Second-guessing tax cuts because your public schools happen to be failing? Bad. And it shocks you the next time you check your email. The goal here is to finally get back to where we belong, a society that favors the wealthy while the poor, working, and yes, middle class have fewer rights that impinge on our profits. We're almost there. This should take us the rest of the way. Ivy?
Thank you, Monet. That does it for this edition of the Big Business Minute. Oh, wait. This just in. Great news! President Bush has just nominated Representative Christopher Cox of Orange County as chairman of the Securities and Exchange Commission. He will replace William Donaldson, who resigned Wednesday after pressure. Be sure to tune in next week for our compassionate look at college tuition hikes in my exclusive report, Drop Out! Education is not for everyone. Be sure to visit billionairesforbush.com for all the latest billionaire news. I'm Ivy League Legacy of Billionaires for Bush, reminding you that we're all in this together, sort of.